Good morning from the Arizona desert. My name is Tom, and I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona, and this is the daily DoorDash journey through the desert. You know, sometimes you just have to tear things down. Sometimes, in order to get to the root of the problem, you've got to evaluate what's going on in your life. And we see this like professional football players do it all the time. They're going back and they're reviewing their play. They're going back and taking a look at what are they doing, and taking a deep dive into their own life and their own movements as they're going through their games and whatnot. They're reviewing their surroundings, their lifestyle, their living conditions. And I think that we need to do that. We need to sometimes evaluate what's going on, and we need to then tear down so that we can build back up. And the more that we tear down, the deeper that we go, the bigger that we can build. And I look at this almost like a fix and flip. That's what we're doing. We're doing a fix and flip. Yeah, we're doing a fix and flip of our own personal finances. Are you with me? Let's do a fix and flip. What a great idea. Now, I subscribe to Dave Ramsey, and I've gone through his Financial Peace University, and I've read his book, The Total Money Makeover, and it's time to start doing these baby steps. And when you're doing these baby steps, you need to go and you need to do a budget. You need to figure out how much money you're able to pile up and see if your current W-2 situation, maybe, if that gives you enough money in order to be able to throw some money towards his debt. If not, gig work, I believe, is a phenomenal way of adding on some additional income. Now, Dave will tell you, going out and go get a part-time job. And over the previous years, that used to be, going from your W-2, going home, showering, personal hygiene, going off to your other job, coming back. Now it's a matter of turning on your app. And if you want to go home after 3 hours, you go home after 3 hours, and you've piled up maybe $60. Whereas before, if you were scheduled for another 8-hour shift at a part-time job, you just could not go home, or if you did that too many times, you didn't have a job anymore. So I think gig work is an amazing way, if you're looking to get out of debt, to add to your engine's power to be able to go through these different steps that we're about to embark on. Now, currently I've got, 2, maybe 4 credit cards, 1 retail card. I think I've got, car loan, tax liability, and we're going to start these different steps. So the first step is saving up a $1,000 emergency fund, and I've already achieved that. So, and currently my little engine that I have starting out this debt snowball is about $700 extra every month that I'm going to be throwing at these cards. And I even fight with some of that stuff because it's like me, a numbers guy. I'm like, which one's the highest interest rate? And maybe I should tackle that one first. But really, we're talking about maybe a couple $100 in savings. And for some of you, that may be a lot. But I also subscribe to Dave Ramsey, where he sits down and says, hey, no, we want you to go after the smallest debt first. And it's mainly because it's a psychological thing. It's that, hey, even though you're knocking out, a lower interest rate card, your mind says, congratulations, you achieved something. And so even right now, I struggle with that because my next card is like a Home Depot card, right? I did a remodel as the family was gone, set up my daughter's room, and threw it all on the credit card. And I'm like, yeah, but if I throw this towards a credit card, then if all of a sudden I have a car problem or I need to use these cards. Again, Dave Ramsey would say, what are you doing? You're supposed to cut up the cards. This is where the struggle comes in. So I'm going to pay off the Home Depot card, even though it's not going to bring any security. It's going to give me that little personal win. God, I just went down that whole path and recognized, no, I'm paying off one credit card probably here in the next week. Then I'm going to be throwing it towards the Home Depot card. Sorry, I've got a lot going on. So I'm hoping that some of you have recognized that we have to tear things down. We have to take a look at our current situation. We have to figure out how much money we can throw at this stuff. We have to come up with a game plan. We have to think not only in the here and now, but in the future. And then maybe we have a little bit of excitement because all of a sudden we're like, hey, if I maybe put another hour, another 2 hours, and I do that for an entire month, I may have a couple extra $100 that I can, throw towards this. And if I can do that on a repetitive basis, I can move through this whole process just that much faster. And you can see the excitement that can build up as you're starting to do this and as doors start opening up for you. But it all starts with that tearing down and taking that hard look, not only at where you're at, but how did you get there? Because see, if you don't fix what it took to get you there, if you don't see how you made a mistake by spending money on a card that you shouldn't have done, if you don't fix it at the root of the problem, you're just going to be right back in the same situation again. So we're going to tear down, we're going to evaluate, we're going to tear down, and we're going to tear down. And like I said, the further that you tear down, the taller that you can build. And if you don't believe me, go look at any construction site in a major city. How far do they dig that hole to lay that new foundation? The deeper that they go, the taller that they can build. So I'm hoping that some of my ramblings here have maybe triggered a couple of thoughts or ideas in your mind. If so, like, comment, and subscribe. If you're willing to go through that process, let's do it together. I'm being open with you as to what's going on in my life, and it's scary to open up and leave comments and be vulnerable. But if you are willing to do that, then I'll know. If not, just keep listening, stay in the shadows. That's fine. I'm not looking to increase my subscriber base. That's not the objective. The objective is me vocalizing what it is that I'm doing so that it sticks up here inside of my head. If I can get some people that are like, wow, this is different, and yeah, I want to follow what's going on in his life, then fantastic. So with that, I've got to make one other video real quick, just because I took some time off during this evaluation process, and we'll get started. It's scary in the desert when you feel like you're all alone, but I'm telling you, you're not. There's many people out here in your same situation. So you can come out, we can do this together. So with that, I'm going to let you go, hoping that you're with me on the journey, because I'm forging ahead, but I hope to look back, and I hope to see a lot of people. So with that, I'm going to let you go. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you in the next video.